Okay, so hi guys, welcome to another How to English video. And today I want to talk a bit more about removing mistakes. A couple of videos ago I posted a video about trying to remove mistakes when you first make the mistakes, not leaving that mistake to become a repetitive mistake that you make for many years that becomes almost impossible to get rid of. So I'm going to be talking a bit more about how you can remove these mistakes, and I'm going to be giving you a bit of a challenge. So really, I think if you're B1 or above, you really don't need to learn as much new English as you probably think. Really, you want to try and perfect the English that you have so that the English that you have you can use it confidently, comfortably, and correctly. So I think what's really important is B1 and B2, particularly those levels where you started to become quite fluent, but you've also got a lot of mistakes that you've picked up from the lower levels and you haven't consolidated that language yet. So a B1 and B2, I think it's a key area to try and get rid of as many mistakes as possible so that then you can learn more English, because if the foundations of your language aren't strong, it's very difficult to build something new on top. Just like if you're going to build a house, you want the foundations to be strong. If not, the house will fall down, and that's no fun for anybody. So what you want to do, identify those mistakes and get rid of them. Now, if you attend English classes, or if you have a native speaking friend, or if you have somebody to correct you, then you've got a wonderful opportunity, which is if you make a mistake and they correct you, you've established the most important thing that you can learn. Really, this right now is the most important thing that you can learn, when somebody corrects a mistake that you make. Now, unfortunately, my experience in the classroom is that when I correct a student who's speaking, they say, "Ah, yes, okay," and then carry on speaking, and they forget the mistake. Or more importantly, they forget the correction of the mistake that I gave them. Why is that a problem? The problem is that 5 minutes later in the conversation, they make the same mistake. Now that's a problem. If you make a mistake the first time, it's not a problem, really. Write it down, learn it, and practice it. It's fantastic. Then you've got one mistake less. The problem is when you repeat the same mistake over and over and over again. So it doesn't matter if somebody corrects you. If you do nothing about it, you're going to make the mistake again. So if you have the fantastic opportunity of being in a class with a teacher, private teacher, or somebody that's going to correct you, every single mistake that you make, write them down and practice it later, but write it down. It's the most important thing that you can do. It doesn't matter if it disrupts you speaking or it stops the flow of your speech. Take 5 or 10 seconds to write it down, then continue speaking. Okay? So what you should have after you do this for some time is a big list of mistakes that you're making on a regular basis. Okay? Or even just mistakes that you make for the first time. So if you've got, say, 50, you'll have some mistakes that you made for the first time. They're easy to remove. And then some of your more repetitive, persistent mistakes, which are going to require a bit more work and effort to get rid of. Okay? So let's say that you've got a list of 50, or better, 52. So you've got 52. There are 52 weeks in the year. What should you do? Always be trying to remove one mistake per week. If you can do that, at the end of the year, you've got rid of 52 mistakes. Now, it's much better, in my opinion, to have 52 perfections, 52 corrections, 52 improvements, instead of learning and accumulating new language. If you can have and get rid of 52 mistakes and have the 52 correct versions of what you should be saying, that is a fantastic achievement in 1 year. So that's my challenge to you. Try to get rid of one mistake per week for 1 year. That will be much better than accumulating more language. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't accumulate more language and learn new language. You should, but you should definitely address the biggest problem which is standing in your way right now, which is mistakes that you're making. So get rid of those, one per week. Which ones should you start with? Well, you should start with the more persistent, repetitive mistakes, because they take longer to get rid of. So you've probably got 10 or 15 or maybe 20, depending, really persistent, repetitive mistakes that you're making. Start with those first, because they may need more than a week. Or imagine you don't get rid of it completely in a week, but maybe you can come back to it periodically to check that you're not making that mistake, and just to practice a little bit more. And then towards the end of the year, you want to try and remove those single mistakes that you made once. So 1 year, 52 weeks, 1 mistake per week. If you can get rid of 52 mistakes in English that you're making now, it would be incredible. Okay, that's my challenge to you. If you have any problems or have any doubts, leave a comment or write me an email. It's totally fine. I'll be willing to help you with anything. On that note, if you have any questions or doubts about English, about the difference between one thing in English and another thing in English, ask me. Write a comment, write me an email. There's my website in the link below in the description. Contact me. I'll be more than willing to help answer your questions and upload a video about your question or doubt. Okay, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Take care.